Vietnam is making great efforts in the combat against corruption. To be successful in the field, it should learn from international experience in dealing with the issue. Today in the Business Talk, we are joined by lawyer Danforth Newcomb, an American leading specialist in the field of anti-corruption from the Sherman and Sterling Company in the New York City of the United States. Thank you so much for joining our program of Into Vietnam on VITV. Can you inform VITV audience about Vietnam's ranking globally in terms of fighting corruption?
Well, we showed a slide, which I'm sure you have, that shows that Vietnam is not a leader in anti-corruption. It has a distance to go. If you look at the public rankings, some of which I presented in my talk, Vietnam is 123rd out of 174 countries. That's not the top. The survey was conducted by a German group called Transparency International, an NGO in Germany.
What are its influences on Vietnam competitiveness in attracting foreign direct investment?
Yes, that survey is widely regarded by multinationals as the best information they can get to decide where to locate their next businesses. So I'm afraid that a low ranking hurts Vietnam's opportunities to compete for FDI from other countries, particularly in Asia.
What do you think are the most important ingredients for the legal system in Vietnam in fighting against corruption?
The most important ingredients for the legal system, as opposed to the society as a whole, is reliability, predictability, transparency, so that people know that when they go to a legal proceeding and make an accusation of corruption, it will be followed through, and if the facts support that accusation, somebody will be punished. And if you don't have a reliable, predictable, and transparent legal system, then people get frustrated, people get cynical and don't use the legal system. And once that happens, you undermine the whole structure of government, in my personal view. Well, again, every country has a different legal system. So what I said during my talk and what I firmly believe is that what worked in the United States and led to the adoption of our law is that the public and the media make a demand that this kind of thing stop. That is the bedrock, that is the foundation on which all of the legal details get worked out. I don't know which system will work best in Vietnam, but I am pretty sure, based on looking at it around the world, that when the public and the media demand it, the government will solve the problem. And if nobody demands it, the government will do other things.
To fight against the corruption, it's sure that we need some kind of punishment. It must be very serious enough to prevent corruption. What do you think are the necessary punishment for corruption in every level?
Well, what we have in the United States, we put individuals in jail, and we take money away from, we fine enterprises. You can't put an enterprise in jail. And we have a fairly effective program of long prison sentences for individuals. I think that's all that you need.
You show that the government should cooperate with the private sector to fight against corruption. Why so? And can you tell more about this cooperation that can be applied in Vietnam?
The reason I talk about it is because I don't think any government has enough resources, enough people or money to stop corruption by itself. And by partnering with the enterprises and demanding the enterprises take an active role in fighting corruption, they do two things. They stop the enterprises from trying to be corrupt, or at least hopefully they do that. And they add a lot of resources to the battle. It changes the climate in which people work. People working for a company, if they are told to not pay bribes, worry that they may lose their job if they do pay a bribe. If the company says, do what you have to do, don't tell me what you're doing, then the same person might think to keep his job, he had to make the bribe. So it's a very important partnership on the prevention level. It's also a very important partnership when a problem comes up, because the company's resources are often faster and can accurately and more quickly gather information about what the problem was and get the solution. So it's a partnership on two different levels, at a prevention level and at a remediation level.
Vietnam has joined the UN treatment, is that?
Yes.
And what are Vietnam benefits when join the UN treatment?
I think the major benefit is they join the rest of the world. In my long years of practicing law, the world economy is coming together much more rapidly. And you just see how transactions are simple. I ran out of dong, okay?
All right.
So I went to a cash machine right down the street from my hotel. That's an amazing change compared to when I first started traveling around the world. But the effect of that is that Vietnam has to participate in that economy and be measured against all of the other participants in that economy, in particular in this region. I think from reading the newspapers during my visit, Vietnam is actively doing that. So I think that, in the area of corruption, that is one part of that competition.
So hopefully Vietnam will be successful in fighting corruption in the future.
I'm very confident it will be.
And thank you so much for joining our program today.
I'm happy to talk to you.